Okay, hi everyone, welcome back, and in this update we are going to check out Hedera's price chart and what we expected basically played out. Because if you remember the last time that we talked about HBAR, we were, I think, right around this area, and the idea was that odds are this move up is just going to be a correction structure, potentially an A, B, and maybe another 5-8 on the upside into our C leg. And because of the fact that we got this specific bounce way too fast and around the lows, we do have some very important gaps. We said, look, this is probably going to be a bit of a trap, and after it's over, you are going to see at least yet another move down in Hedera in order to fill all the gaps and maybe even go a bit lower. And that, I would say, pretty much played out. And now we have to consider probably still, I would say, no, let's actually argue this point into a correction for wave B in form of like an ABC flat and another move up into our C leg to about this point. Let's just delete the waves. Excuse me. There we go. Now, question. What is going on in this phase? You see, you can consider many different possibilities. For example, if you want to say the bottom is in, this can be 1, 2, 3, 4, another move down into wave 5. Personally, I'm not really a big fan. I'm actually going to argue maybe this is 1, 2, 3, sure. But from here to about this high is going to be a flat into wave 4, and what's next? Maybe another move down into wave 5. Now, this short-term structure to me doesn't really matter at all. What really matters is what is happening actually overall, because I think we are actually getting very close to the time where in Hedera we should start bottom hunting. Meaning what? Yep, at any given moment you should expect a very good bounce back. And by that, what do I really mean? You see, if you want to argue that we're gonna have, for example, our final low down here, then okay. For confirming that, you have to be able to find off of the lowest low in this region a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 on the upside, followed by that a slow and choppy move down, a correction structure. And this process, I promise you, is going to take some time. And this is actually one very important point that I'm trying to make in this update. You see, it's very important to note that in Hedera, in the recent phase down right in here, we actually took all the lows. And why do we care about this? Because previously I was able to tell you, look, maybe this is 1, this is 2, and then we're going to get a good move up into wave 3, 4, 5. In other words, we could technically say that the boring price action is very much close to being over. However, now since we took the lows, I really cannot argue that. So here is what I have to say. In Hedera right now, I think we are around the levels where we can say, hopefully we are going to hit our final low. However, that doesn't mean that right in here we should call it our final bottom. No, you need to be patient and also careful and watch the current price action very closely and see off of the lowest low a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 on the upside. Generally a very strong bounce without a lot of overlapping of the waves. If you see this thing, you know what, great sign. At that point we can say maybe the bottom is in, but right around the highs once more, it's going to be just a little bit too soon to jump into a bullish conclusion. May I suggest wait a little bit more and see, are we going to get a correction down or not? When we get this, okay, around the lows can actually be a great long opportunity. Why? Because this structure, if hopefully is going to happen, it's going to imply that on a higher degree you are having a 1, 2, and what's next according to this scan? You know what? A big move up into wave 3, 4, 5. And the reason for why I'm saying the next phase into our wave 3 is going to be quite big is because in terms of Elliott's waves, wave 3 is actually known to be quite a strong and sharp move on the upside. So in Hedera, I think we do have all the proper subwaves to hit our final low, and honestly, we don't really have a whole lot of unfinished business around here. However, that doesn't really mean that we should be overwhelmingly bullish effective immediately. No, in fact, there's this scenario suggesting this is 1, this is 2, and like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave down into wave 3 correction for 4, and what's next? Maybe another move down into wave 5 in the next couple of days. This scenario can absolutely be in play, so watch out for this one. And also have your eyes on the coming bounce back that I think we are going to get very much soon, and see, is it a 5-wave up or not? If we get this thing followed by a slow and choppy move down, great sign. At that point, I'm going to be able to be bullish with a bit more confidence. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in HBAR. And until the next update, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.